All right, guys, we're back. This is going to be our one of our semifinal matches, and today I am joined with a guest commentator, Jim Allen Wallace from Colorado. Welcome,
Hi
Jim.
there. Thanks. Thanks for
Uh,
having me, Andy.
you guys might know him. He has played a couple games with Twiddleball and I'm sure he's going to have some insights for us on how the deck works and all the different decision making. No pressure,
Yeah, it'll be fun to see, and
but
see how other people play it. So, yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited. This will be fun.
Okay. So let's get into the match. We'll start it at three, two, one. So Ty's going to be on the left. Jimmy is on the right. Um, is and Jimmy. I mean, we kind of talked about this last one of the previous rounds. Jimmy's deck is kind of like a blue red, kind of burn deck, but with creatures with Merfolk, and he's been doing well so far, obviously. Um,
I
uh,
really love his deck. I think it's like the blue-red matchup versus Twiddle Ball is, I think, a lot of fun. And then instead of playing where a lot of people would play like, Dwarven Warriors or the Ironclaw Orcs, you get these Merfolk, which attack for two. They seem pretty cool. And I mean, I love Lords of Atlantis, so that's awesome.
right. Anything about Ty's deck that you want to comment about? Like,
Yeah.
just
Uh,
just looking
I
at
think
it, like thoughts.
so. I think Total Vault, like, there's not a whole lot of direction that you can go. There's a couple choices about cards. Uh, Ernum de Jins are kind of the interesting thing on the block, and he has them in the sideboard, but he'll bring them in some of the matches. And
All right.
yeah,
So
other than that, we'll get to it. I think they're starting here.
yeah. Okay. So Jimmy starts off with a 1/1 Merfolk, and Ty looks like he's got the time vault out already. Jimmy's pulling out the phone. He wants to make sure he's got the Oracle text on this thing. I'm
It's a
assuming.
tricky card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure
So
you know how it works and everything. Um,
for a lot of people have questions like if you kill it, can they respond to it? And also you can untap it between turns. And so like if Jimmy passes the turn and then between turns, Ty can go ahead and untap it, and then you can't respond to it with killing it or anything or
yeah, there's kind
ancestral
of that
library.
like unknown area of magic that exists because of Time Vault, and that in between turns and gets kind of hazy there. But I'm sure Ty's done his homework and he's been doing very well with it. So I don't think we're gonna have an issue in terms of rulings. But
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think the deck is really tight. It's got a lot of. It's not really have a lot of space for. It's got a lot of moving parts that are kind of necessary. At least this is my take. And then
Yeah.
it, there's not a lot of flex spots. I don't know. All right, so
No, not really.
um, Jimmy's putting on some pressure, which is what we expected.
Ty's got his ancestral there.
Very nice.
He did said he drew well this tournament, and he had ancestral a bunch, which certainly helps. But you got to get the other pieces too.
Yeah. Okay, so he's gonna. Speaking of getting the other pieces, he recalls he's gonna ancestral again, and Jimmy's gotta not be happy about this.
And you probably talked about this in the other series, but this is Gentleman's, so there's no library and there's no mind twist.
Right.
But ancestral is allowed, so Ty's going to make the most of that.
I recently heard about a format they're calling monocled gentleman, and that's with no ancestral. And
Yes.
this is a new one to me, but I'm all for it. I'm not all ancestral, but I'm interested in seeing how that works. Okay, so he's ditching the time twister for the ancestral. What do you think about that play? Is that
It's I think his plan here is draw more cards. What does Jimmy have? Like four cards here, and
yeah? Looks like
yeah, if you cannot draw him 6 to 2, then you're in pretty good shape.
I guess he's got three more recalls. So if he does need the draw seven, he can always get it later on. Jimmy's doing a good job here, putting on the pressure. Lord of Atlantis is going to swing in and ties down to 14 pretty fast. So okay, we saw this coming.
And in Andy's main deck, how many shatters does he have? He's got yeah, he's got the two shatters made. Nope, no shatters main. They're two on the side. So he's got instants that are bolts and side blast. Pretty much is what he can do at instant speed. So
Okay, so
yeah,
there's not much in terms of interaction. Maybe a
yeah,
chaos orb, that's it. But
right.
he's basically
So
got to put his pedal to the metal and try to like put as much pressure as he can until he can sideboard, I guess.
tap all the mana, and I mean that's the thing about Twiddle Vault, right? Like it's powerful. It can be fast, but you get a clock. You win around turn 5, and they beat you to it. Like, yep, you're gonna lose that one. So
Yeah,
I have played the Monocles gentleman that you were talking about.
mm-hmm.
They had that in the Neos in December, and then I was playing Twiddle Vault, and I accidentally slipped in Ancestral into my deck, and I was playing
Ooh.
Jared Miller. We were at a bar out here in Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "That card's banned, man. You can't do that." So I had
You're
to
like,
swap it out.
sorry.
It was fun. It was a good format. So it looks like Ty's got the Sylvan and a Chaos Orb out, but Jimmy's got more dudes. Lord of Atlantis adding
So
power
two,
here.
four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Okay, so whatever Ty's gonna do, he's got to do it quick. I don't see a Howling Mine out yet, but at least he's got Sylvan to kind of dig a little bit.
Yeah. So he got rid of the Time Twister. Looks like he hasn't found a Twiddle yet. To take extra turn, so he's got to find one right now. This deck does
He
seem
does, yeah.
extraordinarily lucky. Like the amount of times that you're like, "This is the last turn I have. I got to draw a Twiddle," and then you do is more than you would think.
I mean, he does play Fireball. I guess he can Chaos Orb the Lord and then play a Mountain Fireball, killing both of the Merfolk, but no, that's not going to happen. He's not going to get there. So, all right, so Jimmy did the best he could, putting pressure and just kind of demanded an answer. Ty didn't have it that game.
It's a fast game.
I
Yeah.
wonder. I wonder if he got tempted with the what kind of opening hand are you looking? Obviously, the ancestral's great. Like that's probably why he like you kind of insta keep right. You get an ancestral and an island, and it's hard to argue not to keep a hand like that. But what other things do you want to see in your hand? Like, do you want to see Time Vault
I
early? Do you
want to
want to see
see
Howling Mine,
really a draw card. Yeah, the Howling Mine, Ancestral, Demonic Tutor,
Sylvan?
Heal. Sylvan, I don't think is good enough because you
Okay,
see like two extra cards, but you're playing a deck like this with a bunch of bolts, and you're
yeah,
going to be dead real fast. So I think this deck benefits a ton from the London Milligan that you can just go from 7 to 6 to 5,
okay.
and probably find a Time Twister or Wheel sometime around there, at least an Ancestral. So yeah, I've mulliganed to 4, won games. I mulliganed to 1, or not to 1, but to 2, and I won that game against Tim Moran. He was not too happy about that one, but
Yeah,
I was excited.
yeah. So Jimmy shows us what he put in. It's kind of quick, but it looks like he did definitely brought in the shatters, which we talked about. I saw some red elemental blasts. The other, I mean, he's got an energy flux in his sideboard as well, which I would imagine is great.
Those would be the 6 I would do.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
one,
3
two.
Rebs, the 2 Shatters, and the 1 Energy. And, you can pull out the Chain Lightnings, I think could disintegrate. I like the Blood Moons, actually, against Twiddle Bolt.
Mm.
And I think Ty only has 3 islands. No, he's got 4 islands in this build. He had 3 at the Stream of Life when he won there, I think.
So maybe the chain, the three chains, the two disintegrates, and something else.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are you doing in Ty here? You think he's going to
Yeah,
go with the Arnhem plan, or
I think this is with the Urnum Shine. Yeah, you get
okay?
down this 4 mana dude with a big butt, and you can block any of Jimmy's guys, and at least buy another 2-3 turns, if not just attack for 20.
Or soak up some of that damage, soak up some of
Yeah.
those bolts. Um, okay, so we were talking about like very small amount of moving parts. So you want to bring in all four Arnhems, and what would you take out? Are you taking out a recall? Are you taking out a Sylvan maybe because you're going to be low on
Maybe a
life?
Sylvan. Yeah. Sometimes I'll take out 1 or 2 Sylvans. They're really good if the other player has swords, but not here. Not good against bolts.
I'm looking at mana short. Is that as good here? I mean, he doesn't really play counter. Well, he's more of an aggressive
Uh,
build here. He's not
I would
countering
take that
anything.
out. And a short's fine. I think it's great against the deck that's slow, but like a fast deck like this, you're not going to be drawing 8 turns, and then you got to like have this big counter battle.
All right, let's see. All right, so it looks like Let me kind of flash the cards. It
Ooh,
looks like he had a land, a soul ring, and a sapphire. So, all
that was
right.
very kind of him. That'll be fun. I'll start with Sylvan, so he's got that draw spell. It's not a Howling Mine, but maybe better here, so it doesn't get shattered right away.
That's true.
Oh, that's some fast mana. That'll be a quick clock. Assuming he's got something to play with it, but his Merfolk costs blue, so
Okay.
that's a lot of mana.
So much. It's almost too much, man. Okay. All right. So he's okay. So he's got a clock down.
Yeah, 5 power. Ooh, that's. But was that his whole hand? He's got one card left.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. No, he's got two. He was on the draw.
Right, because Ty lost. Yep.
Um.
And then yeah, if
Oh,
he's got like a
so
red
Ty's
elemental blast or a shatter after that.
okay. So Ty's gonna. He's gonna. He kept one. He kept an extra card with the Sylvan. Okay. So I'm assuming he knew he was gonna time walk and wanted to like dig a little deeper. So he's probably looking to start to go off soon. Yeah, he's paying now. He's paying 8 total. So
Yeah.
this might be a even quicker game than the last one.
I feel like if they put out 5 power, I get a little desperate, and you're like, you got this small window. Also, Jimmy's tapped out, which
Okay.
woo, that was cool.
All right. So that takes care of the dib. So the clock's not as bad. He's gonna go into his. Oh, and he's gonna ancestral again. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Pretty good turn
So
two.
yeah, he paid a lot of life, but he extended his clock a little bit. See how many bolts Jimmy has. And the tricky thing is, like, with all that mana open, even if Ty wants to play Wheel or Time Twister, like, he could be walking into the red elemental blast and shatters and bolts and everything.
Right.
So, do you get the Time Walk or the Ancestral here? Interesting.
Um. If he has a Howling Mine, yeah. Now I get probably the time walk, right?
Yeah, I think so. He gets his mana back. Depends what else he has, but yeah, probably. If he's got nothing, maybe the Ancestral digs you one card deeper. I mean, you really just got to assemble the right cards to do what you need to do.
Can we just clarifying what's going on here? This is
Oh yeah,
the game of solitaire here.
yeah. I think we got the interaction between Howling Mine and Sylvan, and which triggers. So the way you set it up on your turn, you draw, and then the Howling Mine trigger. Well, then the Sylvan trigger on top, and then Howling Mine trigger on top. So you draw for turn, draw the Howling Mine, and then draw for Sylvan, and then you can put 2 back out of those 4.
Yeah. All right. So Ty kind of in the tank here,
He is.
doing math, which is never what you want a twiddle ball player to do.
No.
But
I feel like I spend the most time playing this deck counting, and you're like, do I
yeah,
have 5 mana or 6 or 7? And you're like, nope, this costs 8. I can't do any of those things, and you got to go back and count again.
yeah.
What do you think Jimmy's got here?
I mean, I don't. Best case scenario. Oh, he passes the turn.
He
Okay.
passes the turn to draw
Wow.
3.
Wow, that's
Ooh,
dangerous.
it's really
That's
dangerous.
okay. Well, he's got some stuff. He's kind of like I'm reading a little bit of body language on Jimmy. He's like really settling in his seat, like as if he's gonna have a good turn. So I can imagine maybe he has a shatter. I'm just guessing, but
I think he's
he's
got
got
some options.
he's got to
Yeah.
have some sort of pressure right now. One Merfolk's not gonna cut it.
Okay.
If he has a shatter,
Ooh.
would you shatter the Howling Mine now? I mean, it doesn't.
I think at
It,
this point I save it for a time vault.
you save it, right? If there was
Yeah,
one Howling Mine, then you go for that. But
that's what
right,
I. Yeah, but I mean, one Howling Mine's probably enough. So he's only on Shatter mana and Red Elemental Blast mana. I think they're checking the draws. but so he's probably on a 1 turn clock. He can attack for 8, assuming there's a bolt in there.
Yeah.
But he probably has to do it here.
Okay, so he's going to transmute, and that's going to get the time vault.
Okay.
And if we, assuming he has I haven't seen a twiddle all game, so assuming he has a twiddle, he is going to go off to the races. Now the time vault comes into play tapped, even if you transmute, right? It's a,
Yep.
is that how
Yep.
the Oracle text is? Okay.
hmm And the nice thing about transmute, right? It shuffles your Sylvan back in, or your the cards from the Sylvan back in. So we'll get
Oh,
to
that's
see
right. Yeah. Hmm.
5 cards next time, which is pretty handy.
All right. So if he doesn't have,
He's got to have a. He's got a lot of outs though. Ty. He's got recalls, twiddles, demonic tutor, regrowth,
I'm just
either the draw
wondering. Yeah,
sevens.
I'm just wondering if Jimmy had a shatter right now, he'd probably use it, right? I mean,
I think you use it, yeah.
yeah.
Or even on a red
Oh
elemental
my
blast.
God! Here's so now is a wheel.
Oh, the lightning bolt. I'd keep that red mana open to draw into that shatter or that lightning bolt or that shatter,
That's
that red
actually a good
elemental
point. Yeah,
blast.
that yeah. I think he might have been a little too quick to do 3 points of damage. This is not really going to change. What is well? His ties at 6.
Yeah. So I
Yeah, but I
mean,
think that at this point, that either Ty doesn't find anything, or because if he passes a turn, he loses. So yeah,
yes.
so he yeah, I would have probably kept that up too. Kept up that red for a possible shatter.
And I think it's really hard as a total player, like playing around open mana. Had a match this week and the guy had nothing, but like I'm just like, what if he has a shatter? What if he has a
Yeah.
counter spell? And you don't know. But when they're tapped out, it gets a lot easier.
All right, we're gonna do recall for now. Things are getting ugly. This is like okay.
Yeah.
Now it tapped out. You got no mana. He's drawing like he's looking at five a turn,
Here's that counting, right? So get back
and
all the twiddles.
he's
And
gonna get rid of.
Jimmy
And he's
can't even
discarding
block.
tutor. That's when you know things are bad. Like I have everything I need on the board already. I don't need demonic tutor. I don't need red blast. Okay.
And one of the cool things with tutor, of course, is you can tutor for a recall back the tutor and a twiddle or two, and you can like find 3 or 4 recalls in a row and take 12 turns, and it's usually pretty good. Now he's got 2 earnums. Yeah.
All right. So this is This looks like it's over. I don't think it's the best matchup for Jimmy. If he was like less aggressive and he had some counter magic, I think his chances would be a little better.
Like,
Um,
yeah, I've
I
never played this deck, but the blue red matchup I think's pretty even with like counter spells and some amount of shatters.
yeah.
And he's pretty close with 3 red element blasts, 2 shatters. I think the artifact blast is interesting.
Hmm. Okay.
They're just counting math here. Oh, is he thinking about blocking?
So he's gonna kill both of them and take 4.
Okay, that makes sense. But then he's down to 1 Urnum, so
He's gonna regrowth and
well,
twiddle again.
you're right. It is bad when you discard demonic tutor.
Oh, okay, whatever. Time walk. He's regrowthing the time walk instead of the twiddle, not to take mana burn. That's how bad it is.
That's
He's like,
funny.
okay, I'll spend an extra just so I don't take a damage. I think this deck really shows the power of recall. I mean, having 4 recalls in a deck is, I think that just kind of exploits it, right? I think there's no other deck
Yeah.
that like, I mean, maybe the deck doesn't use 4. It might use
Sometimes two.
2, but um, this really
Yeah,
shows how good it is.
and I think Great. The thing about recall, like you're down a card, of course, unless you're getting ancestral, but it costs a lot of mana. You're probably not gonna, unless you're playing the deck and you're going forever, you're not gonna be able to spend like 5, 7 mana on recall and live. But
Yeah.
here, you get all that mana back, so
Yeah.
kind of worked out.
All right. So that was game two. Ty did what he wanted to do. Yeah, I think the first game, just like he had an ancestral, just didn't give him the cards he needed. That's probably what happened. But this game, he definitely had
And
all the stuff and just drew into too many cards.
yeah, like Jimmy had a good clock game one. Here he had a pretty good clock, um, and he had he had Ty with like one more turn, and then it was going to be over. But he never got that one more turn.
Yeah. All right.
And then are they going to play the third one, or do we need to go to the next video on this?
Yeah. Let they're gonna be they're gonna Jimmy's gonna take a bathroom break here, so we are going to take a break with him, and we'll be right back. All right. Looks like the player's about ready to go, so we're gonna join them now. All right. 1, 3, 2, 1. This is
They are getting right into it.
game 3.
Doing a little bit more sideboarding. Oh, this will be interesting. I wonder. So there's that energy flex. I didn't see that game too.
Yeah. What do you think the best sideboard card is? Is there one specific? Like, I know Energy Flux kind of
I'm gonna say crumble.
crumble.
Um,
Yeah.
energy flex is good. Blood moon's good. Disenchant, divine offering, but like crumble costs less, and you really want to be able to do it at instant speed.
You can't red blast it. You can't blue blast it. You can't.
Yeah, and you could get blown out by crumble. It can take out that howling mine. Shatter, disenchant are great, but crumble costs half of that. Tormos Crypt, people like it. I think Ty's been talking it up, and you can tap it with Twiddle and then go off anyways. So you got a lot of answers to it already. You do need an extra Twiddle, but it's not unbeatable.
All right. Yeah, I was talking earlier. I had one crypt in my sideboard in the tournament. I wasn't really thinking. I knew it was okay for Twiddle Vault. I didn't expect Twiddle Vault to play against it, but at least it gives me some play against. I don't know, things like Reanimator, and it's not terrible against the deck either. So the crypt was
Yeah,
there. It's easy to cast, and so I
yeah.
didn't
I mean,
use it, but I had it there.
I had one in my sideboard for the mirror match for like 2 years and never played it, so I took it out. And then I played the mirror match and lost. So I was like, all right, let's put it back in, and still haven't used it since.
Yeah. All right, Jimmy's is going to go down to 6. It looks like Ty's keeping 7, and let's see if he gets to do anything here.
Okay, so no turn one threat. He's probably waiting for the blue for a Merfolk. Okay, Chaos Orb right away.
That's pretty good. Wow. Okay.
But you really need like enough resources to go off. So unless Ty, has some way to draw cards, Howling Mine, Ancestral, 1 for 1, he's gonna lose this.
Yeah.
If you
So
got a threat here, you
Jimmy
jam it.
play a dib and just like.
Okay. I wonder if he's got a Shatter. He's holding up Shatter mana.
I think at this point I was watching, and I think he has a Blood Moon in his hand.
Ooh.
And he was thinking about whether or not to play that, although he does have a Chaos Orb, so it's not much.
Yeah, and an island.
Yeah, so I think that was what the hesitation was. Okay, so
Okay. We're gonna get an early activation. Kill that Merfolk. Oh, killing the volcanic. I always love seeing a flip. I wonder if he was asking if he wants to use it for mana because he can't respond afterwards.
yeah,
But All right. Volcanic Island dead.
Hmm. Okay.
Jimmy
Well,
still
Ty's
got both colors mana. Yeah, he's good.
yeah, Ty's got a
Stick it a
some
bit.
sort of draw thing going here.
He definitely has more mana, but you got you got to be able to do something with that mana. There's a Howling Mine. Okay. Oh, he's gonna get rid of the Howling Mine for. It's got to be a vault.
Hmm.
And do a twiddle, and I would hope to have like a draw 7 here, um, because he's using all his resources to to get the combo going, and then
Yeah.
you end up with just like 2 lands. You're like, well, that didn't work.
All right. So he's thinking about what's going
Looks
on
like a wheel.
here. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep. That's a wheel.
Jimmy's tapped out. Yep.
This is
There's the Blood
this
Moon.
is
Yep,
the
you were right.
the infamous wheel of fortune.
Oh, okay. I
So
did hear
I
about
just
this.
caught the first two. The first two look like twiddles. So yeah, this is like an insane wheel of fortune. Triple
Last
twiddle.
wheel level. Nice.
Jimmy's like, what is going on here? How is this legal?
So he's got 1 land in play. Did he only play 2 lands and
Yeah,
then
he only played 2 lands and he get chaos orb one of them. We're basically
so
on
is Ty winning on turn 2?
Jimmy's. Yeah. Jimmy had 2 turns.
Wow. Wow.
So
It's a
this
big
would be
game.
his game 2 or 3. I mean, round 2 or 3 or something. But
Yeah, I think yeah,
yeah, Brain
right. Jimmy
Geyser for I think
Jimmy
it was like 5. I don't know.
I didn't play with Brain Geyser for a long time, but recently I have. Like to get back at Brain Geyser and Twiddle, and you just get to do all sorts of shenanigans.
Ty, yeah, clearly does not need the Falling Star.
I know. It would
He's
take
got
out
some
so
more
many goods,
turns.
anyways. All right.
All right, so there's the Urnum.
So he just has to take 4 more turns here. 1 recall would do it.
Yeah, unless he has another Urnum in hand. But yeah,
Okay. How many Twiddles is that? Is that the third one?
I think we're at
Is
like
that 4?
7. We're at 7.
7 Twiddles. That's the secret to Twiddle Vault.
Yeah,
Is the 7 Twiddles. Oh, and
yeah.
the
There's
fire
the Fireball for
counting. It's hard. It's the hardest part.
7, and then yeah, and he's got 2 more
Oh,
attacks,
he's
so
got
that
an
should be
extra
game.
turn.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
should be game.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. Ty was running hot all day,
That's
and
awesome.
he continues to run hot. But
Congrats,
good
Ty.
game.
Good game, Jimmy.
All right. Well, we're gonna go into I think next one's the final match. We'll see how Ty does.
Okay, let's do the
All right.
finals.
Thank. See you guys soon.